I'm really sorry about this, but I can't take any requests right now. Please try again in a little while.
Series full.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
You guys would not believe, I don't think anybody really truly believes me, even though I've done shots all around my studio of how little this space is.
Right.
Do you feel like you're like visiting a Hobbit photo shoot?
The lights open it up a little bit.
Yeah, if you're staring out into lots of white.
You know, the lights open
That's
up.
for sure.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's funny because I bought a new set of lights. I bought those Linko Floras.
Yeah.
And I basically kept my old lights shining because they all have purposes. Like this one's doing your right side and the background a little bit, and I like the black background. See under here, dude? Look, there's white, and there's green. See?
Oh shit, you got everything for it.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, I have
That's
this, so
awesome.
behind you is a stand with 3 muslin cloths, the same thing that that they wear in Iraq out in the desert because it's nice and cool.
Okay.
So I have a black, green, and white, and they're both on a stand. That's $100.
Totally.
About $100 for that. That's a pretty easy thing to start with in photography. I've been trying to focus my blog lately in because I have a Google ad.
Yeah.
I'm paying monthly, or I'm paying per click.
Yeah.
For or impression for a Google ad, and my headline is something pretty basic like "Learn DSLR photography."
Okay.
So I get a certain amount of people coming and saying, "I want to learn DSLR photography."
Okay.
So I definitely cater to people like that just have a camera and say, "I just bought this and I have no idea what I'm doing, and you know, how do I change lenses? How do I this? How do I that?" But it's still at the same time having a good command of like the semi-pro world
Totally.
too. I mean, I'm not going to ever say that I can touch anybody who's got 20 years of experience doing this.
Right.
But I read a lot about it and play with it enough that I think I have a relative idea of what I'm talking about. Cheers. So in the DSLR Nerd Studios, we have a guest today, Mr. Lamar Land from Liquid Thread Chicago. Lamar specializes in multicultural storytelling.
Correct. I just call it kind of like getting together and thinking about like what's gonna work and like what do people want to listen to.
What do you want to? Yeah. How do you want to talk to people, and what media do you want to?
Yeah,
talk to?
most definitely.
This is just going to be a complete like. Lamar's going to ask random questions about gear, and then I'm going to go back and put a title at the beginning, like I knew they were coming, like they were scripted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like on today's show.
And I'm actually going to phrase it up about a project that I'm working on. And so asking you about your opinions and the best ways you would help to advise based on the scenario and then the project itself that I actually have to shoot and film, and where film can come into play and where these different lenses can play a role. And then also what opportunities do I have for some really great photography work as well.
Yeah. On that note, you should hold up what's in front of you.
So this is my new Canon 70D EOS. I was recently shooting it on a 5D Mark II, which I really loved, but I got this for some of the added video features that I was really excited to use.
Like what?
I'm looking really forward to the autofocusing.
Yeah, you want to do some autofocusing during video.
I'm looking forward to it. A recent project that I worked on had a lot of high action, like high movement, and I realized that a lot of the video was I was taking a lot of video with blurred shots that was requiring me to get back into focus. So I'm very interested in trying and taking a look at how this autofocus performs towards a little bit more high action type of filming. Yeah.
You might have some haters out there that would say that you just didn't try hard enough to full focus.
That's what you would say, but you know,
I love you, so it's not a diss from me or anything.
But a lot of you know, when getting this camera, I was comparing this to again. I was looking at the Mark III, I was looking at, the 60 and the 7D, I was looking at some of the Nikon, the 7100 and the 7000.
Right.
And this had some, that feature, right? But a lot of the reviewers out there really do believe that this is one step closer to what a video camera is trying to do. It's really combining a DSL and a great camera feature along with some really great video features. And I think for my particular uses, which I'm really wanting to develop on, it might have a nice touch to it, but it also gives you the option of shooting in manual and doing it your own way. So
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, I myself being wanting to get into both video and photography,
Yeah.
I could either buy a DSLR that was great at photography and
Yeah.
buy a separate video camera.
Yeah.
But I was really intrigued, as most people were really intrigued by the type of video that Canon and Nikon were shooting.
yeah,
The Mark II was the go-to camera for all filmmakers, low-budget filmmakers for
Yeah.
a while, and certainly the full frame. So you now have a full. Here's the deal: you own a full frame and a crop sensor camera.
no, got rid of. I no longer have the
Oh, you sold it?
5D.
You sold it
Yeah.
on eBay or through friends?
Through friends. So I no longer have that. I purchased the 70 and replaced.
Yeah, so you probably were able to buy the 7D from the money you made on the 5.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad.
Right.
They're pretty comparable. in
Well,
price.
the Mark II is a 5-year-old camera. It's what was the Mark II? Not 18, right? How many megapixels?
It must have been
18 or 22.
18 or 22. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is 24, I believe.
I think it might be 22, and I think the Mark III is like 23.5
Okay.
or 24.
Okay.
Um,
Half as
yeah.
good as the Nokia Luma.
Right. You can't exactly be a megapixel counter.
No, you can't.
So yeah, you definitely. So I like the idea of showing up with one piece of gear
Mm-hmm.
and being able to shoot both photography and video. And I honestly started out shooting mostly photography.
Yeah.
I looked at all the complications involved in video, the fact that you have to shoot with a separate sound recorded and sync it up in post.
Totally.
That you've got to have a good machine to edit.
Totally.
1080.
Totally.
Which is why I shoot most of my blog in 720 because of my PC's like 3 or 4 years old. So
Premiere does a nice job of shooting this in editing
Yeah.
in 1080 though.
Well, a lot of the Mac people came over to Premiere when not After Effects, but I always forget the name of
10
the
came out.
Final Cut. I always forget the name of the Mac software. When Final Cut didn't catch up to natively importing the ABC HD format, so a lot of people jump to Premiere, but then they jump back when they fix that. And I honestly, I recently did I checked out a lynda.com review of that the Mac version. It was pretty intuitive, the way you can drag big sections.
Oh,
for Final Cut.
Yeah, in Final Cut, yeah.
Yeah, I might have to check Final Cut out because it's doing something as far as it knows what pieces of your video, your 2 clips and your title and your sound. It knows those go together, so you don't have to be really careful in selecting them. You just kind of grab them and move them, and as you slide that piece over, you've got 2 pieces of media here. As you can slide that up, and the medium will move out of the way to accept that cluster of assets, and that's something that Premiere's not doing.
No, well, it's brilliant. It's what Apple kind of built their legacy on is intuitiveness.
Yeah. So
Cool.
anyway, so right now you have a 70D.
Yep. With
And you have my vintage lens on it. It's a Sigma 24mm 2.8 f with a Bauer, I believe, adapter. And kids at home, you'll remember that this is what I used to promote as far as getting cheap lenses, but I now promote Nikon film lenses with a Nikon to EOS adapter. Reason being is that the adapter here. If I may, let's see. Pull this off the adapter. So the adapter has an element in it that helps this lens focus to infinity. as nice a piece of glass as that is within a maybe $30 to $40 adapter, it's still an extra piece of glass in between your lens and your sensor. So why I love Nikon now, and I don't own any, but I might have to buy some, is that Nikon does not need the extra piece of glass in there for old Nikon F lenses to attach to your EOS. Having said that though, it's a weird way this goes on. You kind of match up you don't really match up the dots. You kind of just get it in a field place and then it turns and locks. So it turns like clockwise to lock, and then there's a button right here.
Do you know if the with the different types of a PhotoDix adapter without the extra glass piece, do you need to make all those types of rotations in order to switch lenses out? Assuming that you're on a high production shoot where a lot of things are moving, you need to switch lens and get different ranges.
If you want to be, if you're on a shoot, you could easily shoot a wonderful documentary with 3 primes from the film era and spend, say, 50 a piece on a good day. I think if you're careful on eBay, some people try to get $100 or more for 24 millimeters, especially because 24 is nice and wide for especially a full body or full sensor Canon to shoot on.
And for a crop sensor?
For a crop, a 24 then becomes whatever, multiply it by 1.6. 30, 38. Let's see. Now I have to find out. Hold on. 24 times 1.6 is 38.4. So it becomes a 38.4, which is still decently wide. You have your battery in here?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. I love the flip lens of this, or the flip screen of this camera, especially because you can do low shots and you can do high up. You can kind of in a crowd of people sort of hold that above everybody's head and shoot like this. What was until this camera a pain in the butt though is the older Canons shot very slow autofocus in live mode. And what this camera has now a different types of sensor, which is like a cross sensor, basically. I don't know the official term for it. It's something cross sensor. 2 sensors scanning for 2 things to get a better and quicker lock on autofocus, which makes live view so much more. Because before, it just wasn't worth it. You ended up looking through the viewfinder for photography, But for video, you have to use that. So. I always shoot in manual. Okay.
Yeah.
So
push down and twist.
All right. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, all the new Canons have. Here, do you want to shoot B-roll?
Yeah.
If I'm talking about something, you can. Where's our video? There you go.
Let's shoot on your 5D. This isn't bad camera.
We should, but that's nice.
This isn't bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Is this okay? Yeah, this isn't bad.
Just hit the button and you can
I
zoom
got
in
it.
on what I'm talking to.
This isn't bad.
So yeah, all the Canons now all have this little button you have to press before you turn the mode dial, which is kind of odd because I don't see bumping this beforehand. So I've got it turned on. Is it on? Your battery charged? Yes, it is. Okay, I got. You have a card in here.
Yep.
Good. So live view then, I love this new switch to live view, which is the same thing as the Mark III. You can a little switch between photography and live view. So lens cap is on. So there, let's see. So it looks a little dark. Make sure our aperture is all the way up. There we go. See, look, I can manually change my aperture with the aperture ring on the old style film cameras. There's certain settings that people agree are really good, so I'm going to hit Q here, I believe. I'm a little not used to this menu, but how do I thought I hit Q. Interesting. So this has a nice little ring to it. It just doesn't have the joystick. The 5D also has this little joystick. See that? That you can move around with. But you end up kind of going back to this. So I like move over that, come back to here, hit the set button. You can press this in, but it's not always accurate. So, you know, joystick button, not so much important. But what I don't see is,
Menu tab, what are you trying to go to?
I want to pull up so I can change all the settings for the, I'm in manual, right?
Yeah.
So I should be able to go and change, like on this, here's my example.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, you can stop that. Here's my example. So when Q's up, when I hit Q, I get this in manual. I get all my settings.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And so
in manual, you get it, right?
yeah. So I shoot in manual, but what I do is I have three like
You have those ones set.
things to save your own settings. You might have that as well. There's sort of function mode in which you can set all your camera settings. So I have one of my functions, I have C1 set for all my video.
I know what screen you're talking about here, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. You don't want me to pull out the menu. I don't need to do that.
I have to order food too. My wife's expecting me to order some food.
Oh, I bet because it's in video record mode, that's why you don't get the settings. Let's see here.
Yeah, can you find that screen?
Yeah.
Do you see the scratch I put on my top screen?
I know,
See
what
that?
happened there?
I have no idea. I hit something. I put a little gouge in. Look, see my gouge is there, but that's easy. I can just replace this thing. But this is, I have to send this in
To get fixed?
Yeah. Like this is glass. Dude, this is made out of glass back here. You can just suction this off and put a new one in.
That, yeah.
That you have to send in.
Wait, how did that happen?
Something hit it.
That sucks. But it shows some wear and tear.
If you're not scratching your board, you're not really skating.
If you're not scratching your board, you're not skating. That's the truth. That's the truth. This is a sweet aperture adjustment tool.
Yeah, but so you find your cue though. I want you to get you your ISO. How do you set your ISO on this camera?
You can set it from this button up here,
Right.
or you want to set it from back here though.
So start with your ISO.
Yeah. And manual one, yeah.
Yeah, manuals. Yeah, you want to be. I like to be in manual because you can easily set your shutter speed, ISO, and
Here's my
f-stop.
ISO. But where's my screen display? That's what I want.
Do you have to have that pressed in?
Probably. There you go. And ISO is right here.
Right. Okay. So you want to be in ISO increments of 160.
Mm-hmm.
So
160.
160 if you've got a lot of, or 320, or 640.
Mm-hmm.
How's that looking right there? So 640 looks pretty good
Mm-hmm.
with the lighting in here.
Mhm.
It's only CFL. So the next thing you want to do is you want to be at 50 frames a second shutter speed.
Mm-hmm.
If you're shooting in 24, which you should be,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Film, yeah.
Yeah. If you're shooting in 24, you double your. What is it? I'm starting to lose it. You double the frames a second with the shutter speed. There we go. I got it.
Mhm.
You double the frames a second with your shutter speed. So if you're shooting in 24, then you want to shoot at 50 shutter speed.
Okay.
So are you at 50?
Yeah.
Very good. Now with those two things set.
640 ISO and 50 shutter speed. Yep.
Yep. So 640 ISO and 50 shutter speed. There's only one left in the triad of photography, and that's aperture.
Yep.
So-
At 125 currently.
So now, but here's the deal. Aperture can't be controlled then with a manual lens.
Mhm.
Only by the ring in the front do you change. So now you just change the ring in the front to change whatever brightness or darkness you need adjustment on. Because you're already at the right shutter speed.
Mhm.
The ISO could come up, but as you raise ISO, you get what?
You get more light.
No. Yes, but what do you get in video? What happens to your video?
It becomes more grainy.
Yes, it
It
does.
becomes way more grainy, more
Yeah.
pixelated almost.
So if you have an amazing lens that's like a 0.8 Voigtlager,
Mhm.
Voigtlager, or whatever that, how you pronounce that is, then you've got so much light pouring into that lens, then you really don't have to bump your ISO much. But if you're using a kit lens that you got with your camera, like Lamar got,
Mhm.
right here, so this is Wow, it feels so plasticky compared to
I know it does,
the
doesn't
lenses
it?
from the 70s and 80s.
Mhm.
But this is a cheap lens. This is you only spend about $100 for this lens. It's the 18 to 55, which is has a little tiny focus ring in the front. You can snap pictures too. I'll use the pictures in the video. You're shooting live view?
That was shot in live view.
Yeah, I can tell by the speed.
And it looked really bright.
Did it? Now change. I'll hit play. Okay, well that's not bad.
Okay.
It's a little blurry. That shot was blurry, obviously, because you weren't really. Check the macro though. Turn it to the macro focus.
Right there.
That's infinity. I think that's macro.
Okay.
Now look how close you can get just by, and you don't focus by moving the ring. Then you're just moving the camera.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so just move the camera.
Oh, that's so cool. It takes up the whole screen, but really close.
That's nice and close.
Yeah.
So this lens has this 24 millimeter FD lens from Sigma from the 80s.
Oh
or
man.
whatever. And you can do that with video too.
No way.
So you're shooting.
Everything just looks so beautiful this way.
So shooting that with video, it's nice and the colors are saturated. Now it looks good, right?
It looks really good.
Yeah, it's a good lens. A 24 millimeter, whether a Canon or a Nikon mount with an adapter to your EOS or a Nikon camera, it can't be wrong. You might spend about $100 for it because people are a little more after the 24 millimeters for video making because it's about as wide as you can get in an old film lens unless you get a fisheye. But 24 is a really nice, it's about 38 millimeters on a crop sensor, so it's a nice lens to have. And I truly believe that with video you're going to spend most of your time shooting wide.
Yeah.
You know, I bet it's like 75% of your time shooting wide.
But if I'm getting wide and this, like you said, is 24, what am I going to need? What kind of lens am I going to need for those wide, long, establishing shots that aren't going to be blurred out here, obviously, like it is on the 24?
Yeah. Well, pop that off. Try my... What L did you borrow? You said you had a friend's L.
Oh, I had this exact one, but it was a 135.
Oh, so from what to 135?
18?
No, it would have been...
35 to 105. Is this 35 to... It was maybe 105 was the max.
Okay.
18 to 105?
I don't think it would have been 18 and been an L.
35 105 maybe?
It was probably like 35, 105.
Okay.
Anyway, try this Vivitar. So leave that on. So you leave that,
Yep.
which you'd take off with this.
Yep.
If you were taking the whole thing
Yep.
off. So you could have one of these for each of the 3 prime lenses that you own.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier to pop this off and
Yep.
pop the whole thing off. You own 3 of these. You put one on your 3 different
Sure,
primes.
sure.
Because it's a mess. Because you have to like press this button and move it counterclockwise. But try it, yeah. There you go. It's like a ring that
A little bit
tightens.
like...
Yeah, it's a little weird compared to. So here, try this. There's no red dot, man. Sometimes it's just kind of winging, kind of feeling for it. Feeling what feels. There you go. Now twist it until it clicks. Or near clicks. I guess it
I
won't
think
click.
it clicked.
All right.
Almost. You want to check it out?
No, go for it. I've seen it. So
No red dots. What the hell?
pop the cap off there. I could take a quick video of this, and then,
Yeah.
and then I need to order food for the missus. Focus. So this, are you videoing? Yep. So this is a Vivitar 135 millimeter prime 2.8 that I picked up on eBay. I don't know, under $60. I think most of the lenses that you can pick up on eBay are under $60. Don't get the zooms on eBay because they're, again, the F goes up. You only really want to buy these for that are 2.8 or better on eBay. So this is a FD mount Vivitar lens, which is Canon mount on Lamar's new 70D. So
No, I won't be able... No.
that's
Everything's
harder.
so close.
Yeah, and with the prime you can't zoom, so your feet become
You're stuck with what it
shows.
shows.
Your feet become the zoom when you're using a prime.
Oh man, what are we talking here for range though?
Well, 135 on your camera is wait for it. 135 times 1.6. It's a 216 millimeter. So you're at 200 millimeter basically.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little bit longer than if a full sensor camera had the 70 to 200 on it.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be a little longer than that. Hence the benefit of owning at least one crop sensor body. So I have the 5D Mark III, but this is going to be my next camera. I'm probably going to pick this up in the next 6 months. It's small. It's smaller. Like this is much bigger.
So much bigger.
This is heavier, much heavier. It's lighter. It's got the great little flip out screen. It's got all the new technology that Canon's put into their cameras. It definitely has pluses from the 5D Mark III and the 6D built into it. Does not have a headphone jack. The only bad thing.
Can I borrow these? I'll take care of them with kid gloves.
Sure. I'm not using them, dude. Because once
Why
I started.
don't you just sell them to me?
Maybe.
I mean, if you don't need them, if you don't use them, I'll buy them. I'll buy some stuff.
I really haven't. Look, since I've been using the 17 and 40.
What is this? Do you have the cap for this one?
Which?
For the 24.
That's it. That's the back cap. Yeah, here's the cap. So you kind of press it in and then do that rotation. See it?
Oh.
Rotate the ring now. Kind of push and rotate. There you
That.
go. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. You rotate the ring in, not the other way around. I mean, yeah. Think about what you would like to sell this stuff for. I mean, because I'm looking on eBay right now, like based on your recommendation of what 24, 50, and then a 135.
Right. I mean, you just have to ask yourself. You've seen. I mean, you couldn't really tell from the 135, but this is a nice. I really like this 24. I had a 28.
24 on again and take a look at it.
Yeah, I had a 28 and I gave it to a buddy of mine.
Well, I mean, if you're just sitting on them and you don't need them, then by all means, like, I'll definitely try to use them. Especially in this film, the shoot that I'm coming up with, it'd be nice to have some close and long range. Most definitely.
Sure.
No, it's like.
So that you're just gonna you want to leave the adapter on, right?
Yep.
So you want to do the turn, this next one behind it. Yeah, just turn that.
Mhm.
So yeah, they're nice quality lenses, and they're you get these old primes, and they're definitely well built. You just you're gonna have to manually focus and manually set your aperture, and that's basically what everybody does in the film industry. So.
Ooh, getting that down is gonna be a pain. Let's try it again.
Yeah, you just move it till it settles. You'll feel it fall in, and then.
It's not really that difficult. I'm making it more so.
You want me to try it? Yeah. There it goes.
Huh. Yeah, I'll have to practice.
Tricky.
I'll be practicing that.
Yeah, so you gotta definitely.
I'll be practicing that before I go to
Sex
bed.
has lasted shorter the length of time.
But it does say beautiful shots.
Yeah, the 24 is nice. I love the ability that it can get up close with the macro setting. You basically can get just a couple inches from your subject with that.
Super beautiful shots.
Yeah, it's nice.
Really beautiful.
So let me show you a couple other lenses I brought with me while we're talking real quick. Oh, so this EVF here. Did you try focusing with it?
I did not.
So what I love about this lens. I'm gonna put a subject matter in front. Move this rig here. Oh. Let's see. Is that the bag? Hey, move that bag onto the floor, will you? It's like a big black thing in the video. That's my audio gear, which we were gonna talk
Which
about.
I'd like to take a look at.
All right. Before we change go into the lenses, though, check out this. The EVF. So basically, you put this anywhere you want. That's how do you say it? Chamois, CHAMOIS. This velvety little cover for this good EVF, and then
Okay.
now mess with the focus and do it.
Okay.
So put your hand on the focus ring, and look through there.
Yeah.
Look at the little sparkly red dots when it hits the focus edge. I love those.
Yeah, it's really great stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's focus peaking. Focus peaking is basically you're seeing certain things in the viewfinder sharper or not. But this is even better than focus peaking for blind dudes like me. The little sparkles on the edge.
Amazing.
It's sweet. So you could easily pull focus in a fast-moving situation by always making sure that the little sparklies are on your.
That's amazing.
The second really cool thing this does, before I move on, this thing has something called frame store.
Okay.
You store you have your scene with your actors, and you're shooting. You hit the button for frame store. The actors go on break. They come back or whatever. You can pull up as a transparency where exactly people were when you were shooting before, so that people or objects like tabletop shooting can get right back into the exact position they were.
And that's
before.
all just based on its own software and hardware.
Yeah, based on this little guy. And you can mount this on top of your camera, or on the right side, or even you'd want to keep this. I see people. I've sometimes mounted this like basically right to the back of this, and this flips up, so you have your little monitor that you can look at. But it's really important to have a loop when you're outdoors, because you can have a monitor with like a cover, and you're still peering down this black kind of thing, but nothing beats doing that.
And how much did this cost you, Damien?
New this is $1,000. I got it for $500 on eBay. Is that sweet or what?
Yeah,
I
it's
love
amazing.
this thing. This is my latest,
So cool.
my latest toy.
It's so cool.
All right, so let's do this. Let's throw this 50 on your.
Yeah.
We're kind of indoors, and a 50 becomes an 85 on a crop sensor. Well, you just need to take this off.
Oh, I don't have to pull. Yeah, you're right. Man, that's easier.
Right, you're holding your camera upside
down, when she said not to
Not
do.
to do. Hold it down, even. So
You know what's really funny? The other day, just today, I was so focused on holding it down.
for it.
Yeah.
Hold it.
How often do you clean the inside of your mirror?
Hardly ever.
You don't need to. It's not dusty. There you go.
So that's a 51.4. I paid like $425 for it, but now it's down to like $360, or maybe even $325. It's dropped $100 since I bought it. So now you're back to a regular lens, so you can totally set your aperture, or you can manually. The cool thing with a USM lens, you can be on autofocus. So
Awesome.
find some focus there.
Yep.
Right, and then you can totally come up and mess. All right, let go for a sec. Then you can. Oh, it's still finding focus. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen it do that. Then you can still turn this without switching it from autofocus to manual. You're in autofocus video right now. That's why it's doing that.
I'm in an autofocus picture. Not
Live view, autofocus live view. So it's like it's changing focus for whatever you point at.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's pretty cool.
But you're all.
Listen how long it's hunting. That's it. Look how long it took. I had to help it. Oop! It's still trying to. See what it's doing? It's trying to focus on Vivitar. It doesn't know to focus on that. If I've got two in the shot like this, it gets confused.
That's where the STM kicks ass.
Yeah, because you totally hear this motor right now. Wow. So now I gotta hear this.
That's why you'd want to shoot it in STM.
Yeah, where is it?
That's why you want to shoot in manual.
Yeah, I want to hear this. It's a very.
Isn't that plasticky feeling?
It is.
It's that white
It's
dye.
white dye. Yeah.
It's really plasticky feeling.
Stable. It's got an image stabilization, which is really a good thing. 18 millimeter to 55 is a nice range. Do I have to be on video for it to autofocus?
You can just touch it.
Oh, I forgot about that, dude. I totally forgot that you
And
can
then
just
you
touch
can go
the screen.
somewhere else.
Nice. That is cool. My wife's gonna. I know my wife's gonna like this.
Awesome, right?
Oh, and I don't hear it at all. That's pretty cool. I mean, I admit, if I get this 70D, I'll probably get this lens, just to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Because it does really, you just point it at stuff and it focuses completely silently. That's pretty impressive. And it's doing it and I can't hear it at all. It's not super fast. It's definitely kind of slow.
But it gives it kind of nice, it gives it almost that like manual look, do you know what I mean?
And it can't really focus too close. Let's see how kind of close it can get. Probably about here. Now see how far I am right now?
Yep.
The 24 could do this.
Yep.
The little 24 was
Yep.
like right in there.
Yep.
And you just like, you know, it looks cooler when you know, if you're manly focusing it, and
It looks way cooler.
you're putting your soul into this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You're putting your soul into the shoot, man.
Yeah, it's
Whenever you see somebody like go blow out the focus and come back, you feel like you're watching pro film, you know.
yeah, most definitely. I mean, it makes it pretty convenient though.
Yeah, that is nice. I would definitely pick up that lens if I. Oh, you don't know how to text Siri?
That's pretty fast.
Look at Siri. Siri sucks.
I'm really sorry about this, but I can't take any requests right now. Please try again in a little while.
Siri's full.
But the nice part is the touch aspect of it.
That is nice to be able to.
You can have a million things in your in screen and focus on any one of them.
Yeah. Here, let me get a little bit of video of you like touching the. I can't see.
Can you see it?
Back. Yeah, no, I can't. Well, you can't really see if it's changing, but you get the point.
Yeah, that's super nice.
That is nice. That's the reason why you got the
Camera.
that over a 6D or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason.
So, questions for me.
Yes, questions.
So now that this has the adapter on it, it just takes a Canon cap,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why you could maybe want to have an adapter for the 2 or 3, old film primes that you have on. Oh, 100mm macro.
Sure.
Nice big cap for this. This is a third-party.
This is how you put your camera down and hold it. You push it against your side and twist it up.
This is a third-party tripod mount or tripod ring. This is not the Canon one, which is like ridiculously expensive. Ridiculously expensive is what I'm trying to say. What I really dig about this lens, though. Let's see, should I put it on yours or mine?
But throw it on the 5D. It's a player's camera. You love your 5D.
I love my 5D. My credit card company loves it.
Ha 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 ha.
It's loving it a long time. Look. So let's see. All right.
I
So
mean, but it's a work of art. It's a beautiful camera.
let's see. So 640.
This is a cheap lens. You are right, Damien.
What's that?
This little STM is a cheapie. Doesn't have that feel that this Vivitar has.
Yeah, it's cheap, but you get silent video, silent focus. Weird.
This is the number 2 that you're. No, this isn't this isn't the 50 Prime though.
Yeah, it is.
This is the one that was $100.
No, that's the better version of it. So the 1.8F version of that is about $120.
And this is what?
This is 320, 340.
So the 1.8 was $100, and this is a 3.
That's a 1.4.
Oh, 1.4.
Yeah, so 1.8 is $100. The 1.4 is $320.
What's a 0.8?
The 1.2
Yeah.
is about $800.
Why such huge price gaps in just like this? Just
Well,
those small
there's not
increments?
going to be a big difference between and the bokeh, which is fun.
Yeah,
to say.
it's like the professional haze, right?
Yeah, professional blur.
Professional
the way
blur.
professionals refer to as blur. The bokeh is not very different between 1.4 and 1.8. The thing that this has going for it, it's a USM. It's a better, more solid feeling lens. It's got a bigger focus ring on it because you will be manually focusing when you're shooting. So it just feels nicer.
Yeah, it does. It feels much nicer.
The focus ring on the 1.8 is this little tiny
piece of plastic.
Tiny piece of plastic in the front. So anyway, let me show you real quick. This macro is great for really close-up video or photography. I have to mess with the light, but put my ISO down some. But my point is, it then shoots at a distance too, and I can't do it in here. But you can totally shoot fashion with this. Because 80-ish is a nice range for fashion. Because you want that elongation of those skinny little chicks' face and body. Because you wouldn't want to shoot a big girl from with a long lens, because that'd make her a bigger girl. So you want the wide angle. No, just kidding.
Makes sense.
So the little the 100-pound model types you want to shoot from a longer lens.
Cool.
So this 100 is nice. Autofocus, it hunts sometimes. So if you could rock this manual focus, like
Totally.
just
Totally.
spray and pray.
Right.
Dude, I want to make a cartoon.
That's awesome, dude.
I want to make a cartoon.
You're just like this.
Yeah, just hit the range and snap. It's kind of what happens with macro photography too. Because when you're shooting macro, you want to be on a tripod, but if you're hand holding macro, they make a.
How fast are you at how fast are you at manually focusing? Pretty fast.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get into something?
You have to go out.
Moving do you manually focus moving objects?
Manually focus is 3 movements. Out, too far, too blurry the other way, and then back in the center. So there's 3 adjustments. 1, 2, 3. Unless you're really good, then you can just hit it like right on.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. This last video project that I shot, though, I had to edit a lot down because of just finding that perfect focus,
Did you zoom on your...
Some of it was moving too fast because it wasn't set up.
Right, okay.
It was moving quickly, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
But obviously, magnifying it, focusing on your object, getting focus up that way is going to be much faster.
Spending $500 to have little sparklies in your video is kind of worth it.
Right.
If you're gonna be running around shooting objects moving and coming from you, you can use the autofocus of your camera, but it's gonna hunt sometimes. Nothing's gonna be as fast as sort of manually moving that. So this is I happen to love macro, but this is a good fashion lens too. So that's why you can get outdoors and shoot things at a distance as long as it gets in frame. With this 2.8 prime. Did I tell you the price?
No.
600 new, 400 used.
That's a solid price, huh?
400 is what I paid used on eBay. The one that's around $1,000 has image stabilization.
Okay.
So it's stabilizing the image while you're hand holding. So if you're going to be shooting handheld and you actually want to like shoot bugs while they're crawling on flowers and stuff, and you have the money, then get the better lens. If you're going to be on a tripod, then just get this one.
Okay.
Because this one, once you're locked in a tripod or moving a little bit, you don't need the image stabilization so much.
I like it.
All right, audio gear. Why don't you grab that bag?
Yeah, I'm very curious in this stuff.
So this is my audio bag. I did grab this, which is like me talking about you see this little guy? This is like the most basic little rig you can buy. This is $12. Where's your camera? So screw this up into your camera with this on the left side. These things cost about $12. Yeah, move it over there, and because you're gonna need the video. Move it a little bit off the video. See what I mean?
Yep.
Right. So you can still open that. You can hold it as the second grip, and you have 2 cold shoes right there. So you can go microphone, light, and recorder if you wanted to. So for $12, that I think is one of the first things to get. it just adds 2 other cold shoe points to your camera. So if you're on a monopod, a lot of video shooters shoot on monopod. You're gonna have to have something that gives you a couple of more mounting points.
Why? What is it about monopods that you're gonna find more?
Monopods are a hell of a lot easier to set up than tripods. You
Yeah.
just can't really run and gun with tripods. So a lot of video guys shoot monopods. A lot of people shoot handheld. I was watching, my wife and I have been watching Breaking Bad. That's so handheld, that whole show. And you don't mind. It's crazy because you like the show so much.
It all comes down to writing.
I know.
This is great, Damien.
That little guys, those things are super cheap to pick up. And you basically have another hand point and 2 more mounts.
Can I borrow this actually for?
I'm not using it. Take it.
How-
We'll make you a little pile of things you can.
I'd like to. I'd like to get one of these, Damien. This is nice.
Yeah.
This is actually very useful.
It is. Just a simple little addition you can add on. You could.
The stabilization is just so much better than grabbing a. Oh man, I love this.
So yeah, let's see.
This is amazing.
So that's a simple little thing to start with, and that's the very first thing I used.
Really nice.
I've seen somebody use 2 of them, but you already have a grip over there. You could mount another one underneath that and run it over here if you had that many. But and monopod. You need to be on a monopod.
Yeah.
I think everybody should take a monopod with them on a shoot.
I was shooting on a pistol grip tripod, but I just recently got a monopod, which I'm really excited to use.
The first mic that I ever bought, which my camera guy talked me into getting if I was going to shoot video, was this stereo Rode. So it's got battery power, and it sits on top of your camera, and it's got little bungee cords to kind of let it float a little bit, so it can sit there.
Yeah.
A little bit of hiss in this because it doesn't. Again, if you're just running this straight into camera,
Yeah.
you're going to have a little bit of hiss with this mic.
Okay.
The key, I think, to recording good audio directly into the Canons, with the Rode mics especially, is you want to be at you want to actually be at the +20. But here's my other Rode. Notice it has a -10 and a +20. I actually like hitting the +20 on this, and then you set your audio record to 1 notch over 0. So you go into manual mode, and you turn it all the way down except 1 notch over 0. Set the +20 on this little Rode shotgun. Nice sound. Nice
Really?
sound. Yeah. This cannot go to +20. It can only go to -10. So you get hiss with this.
What would you advise, if I can ask? What would you advise on a budget, assuming that you're not going to shoot a shotgun and you want the best audio? What would you advise
For a budget shooter
to record really good audio without using a shotgun mic or onboard camera recorder?
Is it an interview or is it are you shooting
Kind of an
acting?
acted scene.
Acted scene that you don't want to see the mic, so you can't lav them.
Yep.
You're gonna have to be on a boom over top of them, or someone else is gonna have to be on a boom. So in that case, you better have some friends to to be the audio guy and.
Would any of these current mics, the Rode or this, work for a boom?
This is a perfect boom mic because you can just stick this at the end of a pole and just have somebody have it up over top of your actor, and it's from a few feet. It's zooming in on the speech. This takes doesn't come with cat hair. This has a battery door right in front here, so you put a 9-volt in there. This also has what's called a dead cat, which is they call any type of crazy furry thing you
Cover
stick
that
on
blocks the wind out.
to go out to block the wind.
Does this have an indicator
Yeah,
on the, does this have a dead battery indicator on the front?
No, it doesn't have any kind of battery indicator at all. So you just have on with 2 different settings for one of them is like a low pass or high pass filter. So it's on and then high pass filter, and then you have -20, 0, and +20.
Gotcha.
No battery indicator, so when it dies, it dies.
Sure.
So you better have a freshie in there for a shoot.
For individual self-interview promos such like this, you'd never really know if the audio died because there's no indicator. which is a challenge.
Well, you could be listening to it, but again, your camera does not have headphone jack, so you go in with this mic, you have no way of monitoring your headphone, the audio. So that's where one of these is kind of nice. People start talking about a little portable recorder that you can then attach, and if you had this thing on, it could sit out to the side of that. You could get a little...
And you run your memory card, so you record your audio here on an SD card.
Yeah.
How much does something like this cost?
You can get that used for 150, 140 bucks. New, it's $199 for that.
Okay. You hook this up. You run your audio in here. You do all your listening through here.
You go from then your mic, and there's two brands of these. There's a bunch of brands of these. Sony makes them. Tascam makes them. This company called Zoom does. The company makes what's called a Zoom H4n. The Zoom H4n has a mic jack, has an 1/8" mic jack that goes right in. This one does not. You can't really plug it in anywhere, so you have to get an adapter to XLR. So you have to pick up. Let's see if I can find it. All right, so you have to pick up an XLR adapter. So you go from here to that, and then from that into the XLR. So
and then you go boom.
Yeah, you run this on the side.
Yep.
If you have a sound person, say you have somebody with this on the end of a boom, they have this. They're holding this.
Yep.
So and they're listening to their headphones out of here.
Yep.
So your separate sound person can monitor what's happening on his boom that he's holding in his headphones.
First, a solo
That's
job.
pretty much how everybody does it. But if you're a solo job, you can have your headphones on. You plug them into here. You run this, plugs into here as it is. You can then run a cord from the out of that, which is line out.
Yep.
You run a cord from here into the camera. So this is recording. The camera's recording this. You have two tracks to rely on in case one of them dies a horrible death.
Awesome. Awesome.
So this is a great mic for if you're near your subject, but if you're as soon as you're at a decent distance, you're going to have somebody holding a pole over the actors.
Makes sense.
Or have them mic'd in some way.
Makes sense.
So having to pick up the adapter, these are like $12 for that adapter.
Okay.
So you have to hit a button on the bottom
Oh, to
release it. Yeah, that button. So that's my audio kit basically. Oh, I have those Asden wireless. I don't have them in here right now, but I have them.
You have the sweetest stuff, man. You could do so much fucking film with this stuff.
I know, I got everything that I need to film. I got lights,
Dude, everything. Now we just need some projects.
Yep.
Would you shoot a wedding with me if I offered you $500 to shoot a wedding video?
Sure, I would.
Do you think would you?
I'll shoot a wedding. I'll try that.
Have you done it before?
I've got married.
Did you? You haven't shot a wedding video?
I haven't shot a wedding.
They're easy.
No. I've shot meetup groups for wedding videos, but no.
$500, is that good enough?
That's more than enough. Usually second shooters are like $300. I'll take 5. More like, fuck, you would have taken 3.
As long as as long as you'll help post.
Yeah, I will. So this is a FiOS. It's a booster of output. So you can use that with this to get the cleaner sound.
Okay.
So here's again the things you find on the internet. This is like this costs $20. It's to plug your headphones into to up the sound of your headphones. If you weren't going deaf quicker, then you get this and plug it into your headphones and you can totally pump your output.
Nice.
But it works with microphones. And then you can hit the +20 when you use the FiOS to boost that up. They have a new one of this. This was $250.
I had a creative project for you.
Alright.
Do you want to hear it? Or wait. Oh, wait.
The new one of this is like, all this is gone. It's just this little pod.
And it comes out a little bit longer.
The whole thing's like this.
Oh, you're not talking about the Rode, yeah.
The new stereo
is
only like this big.
Audio
Technica makes some. This is
what do you think of Audio Technica?
I like it. I like Rode better.
For $50 for Audio Technica 6550.
Audio Technica is the starter stuff. Rode is like if you want to spend a little more, and then there's there's the Mac shit if you really have them.
Dude, you're obviously.
So I've got a lav.
Look, this has a bungee built into it, so it doesn't rattle around.
So the other one. So I have a lav.
Okay.
I got a little lav in here.
That's your Asden.
That is an Asden. It might be an Asden. I have a mic. It's a crappy mic.
So do you have the lav recorders?
I have a lav recorder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have like a random. For some reason, here's an odd thing. This is called an attenuating cable. For some reason, when you go from this mic to this to your camera, you have to step the power down a little bit.
Okay.
And so one part of it goes to the line, and the other part of it's labeled camera.
Oh,
See
no.
it?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you come out, you're supposed to like use this special cable to go into your camera.
Okay.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
I've never used it, but I had to have it.
But you never used it.
I never used
Well,
it.
you have to find a reason. What would you use it for? What would be the exact situation where you would use it?
If I wanted to record double audio, like I said, so I've got this recording
Yep.
coming, and
You
just in
wanted to
case,
write it back in here.
coming out of this
Yep.
into there.
Yep. This is awesome. This is your.
You like that, huh? That was my first piece I ever bought.
This makes so much sense.
It does. Extra handle. Well, you're gonna kind of be, when it's on there, you could be manually focusing too, so you might be kind of like wristing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you might not always be holding it. Well, once you get the focus, if
Yeah.
your focus isn't changing,
Yeah.
totally. But if you're changing focus,
If you're moving in and moving out a
your
lot.
hand's gonna be up front.
Your hand
But still,
needs to be-
you're gaining 2 cold shoes.
Yeah, you need that focus aspect. Whereas though the shotgun part has a nice thing because you're holding onto it right here. It's against your shoulder with straight hand on focus.
Right. They also make a thing that sits on here that adds a few more cold shoes up here.
Okay.
If you know, apart from this. So this is one way to do it. The other way is to attach a little thing that adds a few more cold shoes on top of your camera.
Got you. I really like this though.
But
If you're staying steady, this is nice.
yeah. And then eventually you can move to something like this where you're
I
holding this like right here, and you've got a weight back there, and your follow focus is right here, and then I got my EVF mounts right here. So I'm kind of like, shooting like this. And out of my left eye, I can totally see what I'm looking at. And so the thing is, like, if this was mounted, I have to hold it here, but you'd hold it with your left hand, and
It's amazing.
So I'd be holding it with my left hand, looking in there, and doing my focus.
Totally. It's really nice.
I like this little thing.
That's really great.
It's close to the Zacuto. You know what Zacuto charges for the
No.
thing that looks like this? Like,
$350.
no, more like 1,000. Zacuto's out of their mind. Zacuto makes beautiful gear.
Japanese company?
No, they're Chicago.
Get out of here.
They're right here in Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah, they're based right here.
Wow. No, man, this is beautiful equipment.
Thanks.
You have enough to create really good ads out of this equipment.
Yeah, exactly. I have all the tools I need to make creative stuff happen.
Dude, you have all the tools that you need to make really good creative stuff happen.
I know.
Sorry.
Before we close here on the show, I'm gonna I've been hooking up one little doodad that you're gonna have to
What is this?
buy. Where's my phone? See my phone?
What is this right here? No, it's right here.
I got it. Let me shoot a close up of this real
What
quick.
is this?
This is an ND filter. So what I've just attached on the end of my 100mm macro with a step-up ring is a Hoya variable density filter. Now, watch this, Lamar. See it gets lighter and darker? See it dark? Dark, light.
Yeah.
So this is a variable ND filter. What it does is lets you go out in broad daylight and shoot at 2.8 or 1.4. Even though the sun is super bright, you can slap this on the front of your lens. You can darken it so that you get that narrow depth of field. So you're setting your aperture at something very low, like 1.4 or 1.8, so you get like a really blurry background, but you happen to be outside in a really sunny day or a really bright day. So you have your aperture set at 1.4, you have your ISO set where you want it to be, you have your shutter speed set where you want it to be. Then you use this to, when your histogram's live on the back of your screen, boink, you use this to dial in the proper histogram.
Awesome.
That way you can, because you never would be able to shoot such a narrow depth of field in bright sunlight.
Right.
Your camera would want to blow out your depth of field
Right.
in order to not be totally blown out
Right.
in a bright daylight. So, so you need to pick up what's called a variable density filter. Now, what you want to do is you want to get the largest one you can get,
Right.
because these are expensive.
Right.
$200 for this one. They cost more and they cost less. You can get one for under 100. You can get one for like $400. It's crazy. So this one's $200. And then you get a step-up ring to match all your lenses.
Right.
So you get the biggest one you can get,
Right.
82 millimeter,
Right.
and then you get a ring that goes from the 58 up to the 82, or you
Right.
get this one that goes on my my 17 to 40. So you buy these little cheap rings. They're like $10-20. You don't want to buy this. You don't want to keep buying.
You
this
don't
for
want
all
to keep
your
buying
lenses.
that. No.
You don't want to buy one of those for all your lenses. So
So you just get lens
Get-
caps that
get the-
adapt to them.
get the biggest one,
Yep.
and then get step-up rings.
That's a
for all
great
your
idea.
lenses. All right, so
That's a
step-up
great idea.
ring. So there's a step-up ring on here.
What's the smallest diameter that you can go to with a diameter like this, but with the step-up rings? Like,
You might have to get one that goes to another one and then jumps up if it's an old film lens.
Mhm.
What's nice, what I like about this is a 58. Yeah, see, look at that. Show folks at home the difference of the 50 millimeter and the old Vivitar 135. So that's pretty small. I
Yeah.
don't think they would go from this to 82.
No.
But you can get rings that step up to a certain point and then get another one that steps up to another.
okay.
You're just adding like sunglasses, variable sunglasses to the end of your lens.
Totally.
It doesn't matter if you extend that out a little bit more
Totally.
than you need to. So this is really important if you're going to shoot outside.
Yeah.
You're going to have to look into this,
Yeah.
one of these. If you want that narrow depth of field and you're shooting outside in a bright sunlight, you have to get a variable ND.
Yeah.
Now, they do make NDs, they make neutral densities that are set.
Okay.
So you could have a set of them.
Okay.
Some people are like purists, and they
Right.
believe that this one that has go from one to the other can sometimes some of the cheap ones or whatever might get like an X pattern
Right.
at one end, or
Right.
there's issues.
Right.
So you could get the individual ones to match.
Well,
the
your
certain-
philosophy is always make sure you don't put another piece of glass at the end. So what? Right, and this is a piece of glass, but what is this ultimately really doing and allowing people to do for an extra $200?
Yeah, it's letting you shoot outdoors and get narrow depth of field, because you couldn't achieve that unless you had something like this on here.
Got you.
You could get you can get one of these for under 100. You can get one of these for, as I said, up to 400 or so.
But it's a UV protecting lens.
No,
Oh,
this is
completely
not
different.
This isn't UV. That's a whole other discussion. You can change
You
the
can completely change it. It's not
you
something you
change the
just
dark-
put on. It's just
yeah UV lenses. Film cameras needed protection from UV light, but the digitals don't. UV filters are only here to sort of protect the end of your lens, but you're adding an extra element, as I talked about.
yeah.
So I don't love to add extra elements if I don't have to, but there's no way to, the only way to achieve that narrow depth of field when you're on a bright day is to go in and darken the end of, darken this down. So you could start with the one for $100, see how it works for you. There might be some people, I think Tiffin probably makes one. This is a black and white, a B+W, I think. No, this is Hoya, sorry. This one's made by Hoya, which is a good brand. But they have, you go look at
Awesome.
reviews of these, they have them, they're just like ridiculous $400, $500. So, you may like this one, you may not. Some people like it, some people don't. I've had no
Typically
problems
used
with it.
for photographers. Videographers would have.
Photographers use this too.
Photographers do.
Absolutely.
And videographers, or just
Both.
the one, both.
Both. So if you're out, again, as a photographer, you're out shooting on a really bright day and you want a really narrow depth of field. You're up into some flowers, and it's super bright on that flower. It's great to be able to just dial down the darkness, the light coming into the lens on the end of this, and same thing with video.
How's your blower? Now look at little specs and things like that. Do you need to go and blow or things like that, or how? I mean, what is your advice on cleaning?
Get one of these little turbo blowers right here. It's better than the little cheap one that comes with it. You just hold it facing down. Just get up in there. You don't ever want to touch your mirror. This is about the only thing you can really do. Hold it directly straight down. There you go. Just get up in there with the blower, and sometimes you'll have a speck on your viewfinder back here too, and this is the way to get it out. So I just pick up one of those, give it some good squirts up in there. That's what she said.
Cool.
So, any other questions, I guess, before we go get some food?
No, I mean, I'm completely overwhelmed, and I'm also very impressed because I've learned a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, I
to learn.
got a bunch of stuff, and I've read a lot up about it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I think I'm gonna walk away again. Surprisingly, I walked away. Not surprisingly so much to your knowledge, but I walk away knowing more.
I know. Well, that's the thing. You can't. I don't know everything. I'm just a lover of videography and photography, so. I do know some things, and if I can help people out there with their questions, great.
Yeah.
If I'm not pro enough for you, then there's another website that you can go check out.
But you're funny. All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
This is cool.
Thanks for being on the show
yeah,
today,
it's
Lamar.
fantastic. Appreciate it. Thank you for
Cheers.
having me.